So you can see now.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I would thank you very much for the invitation to be part of this workshop. I want to talk about some experience on training initiative in Mexico on heritage science. So the idea is to show how we are doing this job, and we are collaborating with national institutions in Mexico. So we are part of the National Laboratory for Research and Conservation of Cultural Heritage, which is the Mexico node of IPERION. So we are a lab, it's a national lab that is considered as a network of 5 groups that has different kind of techniques that you can see here. We can do imaging, spectroscopic methods, ion beam analysis with the accelerator, chromatographic techniques, material science on the samples, and also the study of environmental degradation due to the conditions in different regions of Mexico. So it's a very big group. It's about 40 people from the academic side and about 40 people from the students, mainly PhD students and master degree. But also in Mexico, we have a national network of about 40 groups that are covering a large part of Mexico. You can consider that we are about Germany, France, and Spain together in the dimension of the country. So it's like to being in a European research group because we are very, very big. And Lansik is the leader of this network as well. And the work that we have done in the last months, because we have all the limitation of the COVID pandemic, were focused mainly on courses and thematic seminars, mainly on microscopic techniques that are combined with other spectroscopic methods. But also we were collaborating with some of these laboratories of the national network to carry out a more broad scope of the study of the cultural heritage using these techniques and methods. Also, we have a summer school. It was in a hybrid format. It was possible as you did something similar as well. And you have some of our students in the IPERION summer school. And in this case, we have a hybrid format. So the early initiation into science was for the 8 young students that were selected to be in the lab. And we have another part that was virtual with about 25 people focused on different methods and techniques, but also the deterioration of stones, synthesis of new materials, effects of environmental condition, cultural heritage degradation, and so on. In collaboration with the schools of conservation that we have 3 in Mexico, we were working with 2 of them. One is of the National Institute of Anthropology, that is NCRIM, and another one is in the west part of Mexico, and the name is ECRO. And with ECRO, we have a seminar in which we did a lot of work on presentation of method. It was virtual, and it was very good as a first step. And now we have almost an agreement with the school in order to have a more intensive collaboration on the training of people and teachers. And in next November, we'll have a workshop. In this case, we consider it will be theory and practice, so on site with the equipment for the teachers and the students. And the other initiative was mainly focused on the study of the conservation of paintings on canvas mainly. And it was a broad scope that was covering conservation theories, practice, and we were working with the people presenting the study of the materials. So it was very good because we have a lot of people in this case from different institutions. As international dissemination, we have an activity mainly with Costa Rica. This was a journey, an academic journey, only in which the students were presenting the research. So it was Mexico, Costa Rica meeting that has been done in March. And it was very interesting because we can make a comparison of different research on materials and conservation of the Costa Rica cultural heritage that we didn't know a lot, in fact. In the frame of this ResInfra project that there is within the IRIS and Mexico National Council of Research, we have several meetings with the people of the National Institute of Anthropology, the INA, because INA is perhaps the institution in Mexico that rules most of the cultural heritage of Mexico. So they do the supervision of research and conservation of all the projects that can be done in Mexico. INA has 3 universities that are focused on archaeology, heritage conservation, museum studies, physical anthropology, and other topics. And also, INA has a significant amount of museums and archives. There is also a page that is a web page that is interesting for you because it's the Mediateca INA, in which it's a open repository of images and data of the different objects that we have in the collection of Mexico. So after these meetings, there were specific proposals of collaboration with IPERION, mainly focused on best practice dissemination and training, because it's something that was very important for the people of INA. We consider it's very important for our area from Mexico and Central America. And the idea is to have joint training models between IRIS, IPERION, and INA and LANSIC as the Mexican node of the network. Focus mainly on techniques and case studies after previous experiences. So they had many problems, and the idea is to show how we had been interacting in the previous periods, in previous times, but also to try to have a model that will join the experiences of the different courses and lectures and workshops that we have done in Mexico in the last period. So also explore the possibility of organizing webinars together with INA and the Mexico partners in collaboration with IRIS and IPERION. And they present a lot of topics in which they were already ready to provide these webinars for the HS Academy. And the topics were mainly underwater cultural heritage, prehistory and environment, taphonomy and fossil state of conservation. And this is some images that show you some of the recent discoveries that were done in Mexico concerning these topics. And the study of Mexican orcades-based glue for conservation, 3D digital models, in which INA has an important group of research, Colombian metallurgy. Panel paintings are a topic that is very important for Mexico, it's particular for the colonial period. Non-invasive geophysical methods and the biological identification and materials is also some of the topics that were interested to show the research that has been done. Some of these were done in collaboration with LANSIC. As final remarks, I would like to say that from our experience in all this work that we have done in the last months under the COVID frame and the limitations, so I can see that there are some advantages. Virtual tools are very good to reach a lot of people, in particular from other regions and continents. And I consider it should be considered as a first step. It's very good for that, to have contacts to show about all the research and the capacities of the laboratories, but there are a lot of limitations. I think that, I'm sure you agree, that contact with objects is essential. The contact with experts is required because we need to exchange the knowledge and experience, face the objects. And also the contact with facilities and equipment is missing, because even if we can do virtual tours and equipment demonstration, still you need to use the instrument. So this is something that we need to find a solution. The options are hybrid modalities. That is good, but it's not completely enough for some of the experience that we had in these previous activities. And we have a concern, in particular with these transcontinental collaboration because traveling still is a problem. And there is new country health policy that it's very difficult for people from different countries to reach another continent. And we had less resources for intercontinental mobility as after this COVID impact in the research. Thank you. I hope I was in time.